Let me cut to the chase. I'm concerned for a lot of people who are using these Bird scooters because of the way the Bird scooter user agreement is written. They impose some pretty strict requirements on their users, and basically they don't take any responsibility for the product. Yet most users don't even know, because most people don't actually read those long agreements, stuff with all this legal mumbo jumbo. Here are some things you need to know that you agree to. First, you understand that the battery may run out even mid-trip, potentially while you're in the middle of the street. However, Bird says it's your job to check the battery life. And if the battery does run out while you're still using it, you still have to end your trip on the app. So this is not like when your phone dies in the middle of a call, the call is automatically ended. If you don't end the trip, you'll still be charged. And really, if your battery dies, and let's say, for instance, a car is coming toward you or a pedestrian and it stops, that can be a disaster. Bird also says you're responsible for checking the brakes, wheels, frame, and battery before riding, and agreeing not to ride it if there are any noticeable issues. I would argue that the average user is not qualified to detect many of these issues that may lead to a malfunction. It concerns me because they will try to deny responsibility for a defective scooter in the event you have an accident, saying that the user should have inspected it to begin with. But the part that really concerns me the most is that Bird essentially says that when you sign their agreement, you waive any and all claims that you may have against them. As an attorney, I strongly disagree with this language. In essence, they're saying that, we can put this product out into the market for public use, but will not take any responsibility if it fails or hurts someone. So let's say, for instance, you have a problem with a Bird scooter. In the agreement you sign, you must first reach out to user support through the app. The second step, and assuming you follow the first step correctly, you still have an issue, you have to go to California to fight them. Again, if you don't follow the steps correctly, they'll deny that you have any right to bring any legal action against them. Now, I don't have any experience with Bird's user support, but I can only imagine that you're not going to get very far. At this point, I think people that are going through this or having an issue with them will probably just throw up their hands and give up. I believe that Bird has made it so difficult for people that they just simply give up on potential claims. And finally, in the release that you sign, you're saying that in exchange for using their scooter, you understand there is an obvious risk and will not hold them liable for anything except gross negligence or misconduct. Now, I would challenge this would not hold up in court, but I'm just saying this is what you agreed to. Now, one thing I think everyone who plans to use these scooters should do is opt out of their arbitration and class action waiver agreement. Basically, buried in this long user agreement is where you agree to give Bird home field advantage in the event you file a claim against them. Furthermore, you consent to fight any claim against them in California courts, and you give up your right to be a part of a class action lawsuit should you need to. Listen, at the end of the day, I believe there's a lot of this user agreement is unreasonable in terms of them not taking any responsibility for their product if something goes wrong. Furthermore, they make it very difficult for you to do anything about it. And you probably won't get very far because of what you consented to in the user agreement. I'm Inzina with Murphy's Law and Dunn. Just remember, just because it can go wrong, doesn't mean it has to.